Hey guys, welcome back. So to get started with this Get Ready With Me, we're going to begin by moisturizing our skin. I'm using the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. I've been sick lately with the cold, so my skin was really dry and the weather had been a little bit cool, so my skin was a little bit dried out, so I needed some moisture up in there, so I'm just going to go in with this moisturizer. So now I'm going to begin by doing my brows. I'm using the Benefit Bravo Brow Conditioning Primer, and I'm just going to run that through my eyebrows. I always use this before I do my eyebrows to prime them. So to fill in my eyebrows, I will be using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Taupe, and I'm using this spoolie on one of the ends of the pencil, and I'm just going to brush my brows upwards so they can be out of the way when I'm filling them in. So I begin by taking the pencil and making a line underneath to establish a shape and get a basic shape going, because my brows have no shape whatsoever, so they do need a bit of help with the pencil. And then I'm lightly just going to fill in my brows using very light motions. I'm being very light-handed because I've been trying to be very light-handed on my brows lately and just try not to be so harsh. Then I take a neutral shadow from the Too Faced Naturalized palette, and I just use that to fill in my brows. I feel like using an eyeshadow just makes your eyebrows look so soft and natural, but yet it fills them in. So I'm just taking that on a Japanese angled brow brush, and I'm just filling in my brows on the empty areas and sparse areas. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my eyebrows, and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer and Porcelain, and I'm cleaning up my eyebrows with a L flat eyeliner brush. I've been obsessed with this brush lately. It gets right underneath my eyebrows and it's just perfect, and you can be so precise with it. So I just go right underneath my eyebrows, and I also go around the edge on top of my eyebrows because sometimes I go up a little bit too far when I fill them in, so I really need to clean them up. And now I'm going to set my eyebrows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. To prime my eyelids for eyeshadow, I went ahead and primed them with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in Porcelain. So I went ahead and applied that on my eyelids and then blended that out with a damp beauty blender. I wanted my eyeshadow to last all day, so I made sure that I primed them and I was covered for the day. So I'm just going ahead and going to blend that out. I also went ahead and set my eyelid primer with a eyeshadow to make sure that it wouldn't crease and that it would just set the eyelid primer in place throughout the day. So for the eyes, I will be using the Too Faced Original Chocolate Bar Palette, and I'm going to start off with Salted Caramel, and with a MAC 224, I'm going to blend this in my crease, and I'm just going to use this shade as my transition shade. I wanted something very light and warm toned, and I absolutely love this transition shade because it's not too heavy, so it's the perfect transition shade. It's actually one of my go-to shades to use, so I'm just going to lightly blend this in the crease, and look at that, guys. I have concealer in my brush. How did that happen? How did that happen? Oh my gosh. We're going to move on to Milk Chocolate, and I'm also going to blend that in my crease with a MAC 224, and we're just slowly building up the colors in our crease to make sure that they all blend very nicely. I'm now going to take Semi Sweet from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette, and with the MAC 217, I'm going to slowly build up this color on my outer lid, outer V area, and I'm going to slowly build it up in my crease. This is going to be one of actually just the darkest shade that's going to be on our eyes today, so I just wanted to go ahead and use a very precise brush with that. So I'm just going to blend that out and gradually smoke it out. So I'm just taking my MAC 224 with no extra product on it, and I'm just going to blend out the edges of the eyeshadow to make sure everything is nice and blended and that there aren't any harsh edges within the eyeshadow. I'm going to go back in with my MAC 217 in Semi Sweet, and I'm just going to reapply that color and smoke it out and bring it upwards so it'll kind of change my eye shape a little bit and just make my eyes look bigger. So I feel like the more I smoke out my eyeshadow, of course, the more it's going to emphasize my eyes. So I went ahead and just smoked that out. I'm going to go ahead and take some concealer on a concealer brush, and I'm going to apply that on maybe a half of my eyelid. I wanted to kind of clear up a space for our eyelid shade, so I went ahead and used a concealer brush, and I just applied the concealer on the first half of my eyelid, and then I went ahead and blended that out with a brush. I didn't blend it outwards, but I blended it in place to make sure that it wouldn't crease, because I do have hooded eyes, so it is bound to crease, so I did make sure that I blended that out. I'm going to take a flat shader brush and I'm going to spray it with some setting spray, and for our lid shade I'm going to use the NYX pigment in Vegas Baby. This pigment is just so beautiful. It's just so perfect for the holidays and also for New Year's. It's just been one of my favorite eyeshadows to use recently. It's beautiful. I will link it below for you guys so you can go check it out, but I've fallen in love with it. It's so beautiful. I wish you guys could see how beautiful it was on camera, but in person, it's just so beautiful. I'm going to go back into Semi Sweet from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and with my MAC 217, I'm just going to blend out the edges of that pigment to make sure that the Semi Sweet shade and the primer, or I'm sorry, not the primer, the pigment blend together very nicely. And now I'm going to go back into Semi Sweet still with a Japanese cut crease brush, and I'm just going to smoke out this shade and bring it upwards to kind of emphasize the eyes. Like I said earlier, I just wanted to bring it up a little bit higher, so I went in with that brush and the color one more time. Then I went ahead with my MAC 224 and no extra product and blended out the edges of the eyeshadow one more time. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes because we will be applying mascara, so I'm just applying that using my Tarte eyelash curler, and I'm going to be applying the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. I am obsessed with this mascara. It is my favorite mascara at the moment. It really lengthens my lashes and curls them, and it just does wonders for my short lashes. So for my false lashes, I'm going to be applying some very natural, soft false lashes. I will be using the Salon Perfect 314 lashes. I believe that's the number, but I will link them below. So I'm just going to apply them. I had a bit of trouble with them. They seemed to want to stick to my actual eyelashes. It was just a little crazy, but we got it. We got this. We got it. I had to make them work. I really wanted some soft natural lashes, but something that wasn't going to overpower my eyes, but really just focus on the eyeshadow and not the lashes. I'm going to go ahead and remove any fallout that was on my skin, especially when we were using the pigment. A lot of that fell on my under eye, so I went ahead and removed that. For my primer, I will be using the new Milani Prime Light Primer. This is my first time using it. It gave me a very nice glowy finish, so I went ahead and just applied that all over my skin. It's really nice to have glowy skin for the holidays, so I mean, you guys know I wanted some glowy skin, so I went ahead and just applied that all over my skin to keep my foundation in place throughout the day. For my foundation, I will be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and I'm also going to apply the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in Celestial. I already applied the foundation on my skin, but I decided I wanted to add these drops in here, so I went ahead and just added a drop to each side of my face, but then I just kind of just dabbed a little bit of that product on my forehead and my chin. I didn't want a lot of extra glowiness there, so I went ahead and just applied a very small amount. And then I went ahead and blended out that with my damp beauty blender as always. This gave me a really nice glowy finish to the skin, and I really, really liked it. It just looks so beautiful and dewy, and I'm just all about it. Moving on to concealer, I will be using my LA Girl Pro Conceal in Porcelain, and I'm just applying that underneath my eyes, and I'm blending that out with my damp beauty blender. This stuff can cover up my under eye circles, so I really like it, and it just gives the under eye a really nice illuminated effect. I just love it so much, and it's been one of my go-to concealers lately. For my powder, I'm going to be using the Airspun Translucent Face Powder. I'm just using this to set my concealer and also bake. I didn't want my concealer to crease, so I used the Airspun to take care of that little situation that might happen. So I went ahead and applied a little bit on my chin as well. For contouring, I will be using my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and with a Sephora Pro 74 contour brush, I'm going to chisel out my cheekbones and give a little bit of definition and a little bit of color to my skin because I looked really pale, so I needed to take care of that. So I went ahead and contoured. I love Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It's amazing. It just makes me, it makes me feel so tropical, so I went ahead and went with that. For my highlighter, I used the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Highlighter Powder in Golden Lights, and I sprayed my EcoTools Look fan brush with some setting spray to give the highlight a little bit of pop like I always do, and I went ahead and highlighted with this. And for my blush, I will be using the Hourglass Ambient Powder Blush in Incandescent Electra, which is my all-time favorite blush. It's so beautiful and natural, so I went ahead and swept that on my cheeks. So I'm going to go ahead and smoke out the bottom lash line. So I took Milk Chocolate from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and I used a small fluffy brush from Anastasia, and I went ahead and smoked this along my bottom lash line to give a little bit of definition and just to add a little bit of some, definition on the bottom lash line. So for my lips, and I noticed this lip color actually matched my nails, so I was all about it, but I used the ColourPop and Hello Kitty collaboration Ultra Matte Lip and Ribbon. This is my all-time favorite red at the moment, and I just couldn't resist going for a red lip since it was Christmas, so I went ahead and went with that. And I noticed that my mirror was covering pretty much the entire part of me putting on my lips, so I do apologize for that, but guys, can you see the beauty of this red lip? I'm just obsessed with it. Alright, so we are done with makeup, so I'm going to move on to hair, and my hair was very crazy. I took a shower the other day, and it was in a ponytail, so it was really curly. So what I have been doing recently is I've just been straightening a few portions of my hair just to kind of bring my hair down and make it not so thick and wavy and curly, so I just straighten it to tame it a little bit, but I don't straighten it all the way, but take a few portions and straighten it, if you know what I mean. So I'm lightly doing that, very lightly, and just, taking a few strands to kind of thin it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a white bandana and just kind of tie it. And now what I'm going to do is just take the portions of hair and lightly curl them with my flat iron. I just love this so much because my hair still has wave in it naturally, but I'm adding a little bit of waviness to it. So I loved how it came out along with the bandana, and I've actually never used a bandana or done a hairstyle like this, so it's definitely something very nice and different than what I usually do. So I'm just taking small portions and curling them with my flat iron. I love the curls that flat irons give. I'm just obsessed with them, and they just give the most beautiful curls. So I've just been doing this hairstyle recently, minus the bandana, but I added the bandana because I actually found it, so I was like, hey, let's use this and do something different than the. And that concludes it for this Get Ready With Me. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I had loads of fun with you guys today, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to subscribe and give a like on this video. Happy holidays. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.